Just three radio hosts on air dumb debating.
Oh, here we go, Dumb Debates. Your chance to take over the Grum and ask us anything.
It could be anything about like state income tax or NIL
Sure,
or
it could.
Nebraska and Tennessee not playing.
It could.
It could.
It could. But it could also be other stuff, too. Many fun conversations have been had in this very segment, and you can contribute by sending in your dumb debates into the JTech Construction Zone Twitter page at USC1620. Use that hashtag dumb debates or email us your dumb debates. John at 1620thezone.com, Josh at 1620thezone.com, Nick at 1620thezone.com. It's the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. I don't mean to start with sports, but I didn't have a chance to shoehorn this into
Good Lord, John.
content.
Incredible.
I didn't have a chance to shoehorn it into content, but did you see this? Did you hear about this? Northwestern's women's basketball team.
I did see this, yes.
Had to forfeit 2 games it was scheduled to play in January against UCLA and USC. Of course, both those schools are located in Los Angeles. What was happening in the middle of January in Los Angeles? Massive wildfires. So Northwestern decided, and this is from their release that they put out at that time. Due to concerns surrounding ongoing wildfires affecting the greater LA area, Northwestern has made the decision not to travel to play its scheduled women's basketball games against UCLA and USC.
Yeah.
Well, today, the Big Ten Conference announced that Northwestern will have to forfeit those games because they did not go and play them.
They didn't fly into the fire. So what's the dumb debates question here, John?
Well, the dumb debates question is
this right?
Should the Big Ten have made them forfeit the game?
Man, this seems a little awkward at the very least. Like, there was a fire going on.
Yeah.
I would love to get
so
and
weird.
So this is Northwestern. This is a private school. I would love to, if anyone could FOIA somebody to see like what kind of conversations were there between Northwestern and UCLA? And was it almost an agreement that they both came to that like we should not do this? Because if that's the case, then I feel really awful for Northwestern. If they just kind of decided like I guess we don't want to do this for the safety or whatever. But if like other people thought that it was safe for them to fly, I don't know, man. This is, I'm a little squeamish with this one.
Well, here's where I think Northwestern. It's obvious that they did not go through the conference protocol.
This is not Big Ten protocol.
Yeah, cue Lisa Bluter here. This isn't Big Ten protocol. It sounds like this was a Northwestern only decision. Because it's obvious, because I can't imagine the conference would have them forfeit if all of the schools agreed to doing this.
John, you know that there's
right?
a term that you hate. Was Northwestern by not going there virtue signaling, and now it's costing them 2 wins?
I mean, listen.
Northwestern.
Would it surprise me? No, it would not surprise me.
Because if they made this decision without getting like any input from the other 2 schools, like. I'm sure that they I'm sure that they talked to them. You would hope so.
I would think. I wouldn't think they would just say, "Yeah, we're just not coming." I would have thought that I would love to know a little bit more of the backstory of what the back channel communications were as far as doing this.
Someone needs to get
my guess is because not all parties were in agreement on this, and the Big Ten didn't cancel those games, that they had to follow the protocol that they had, and that is, well, you didn't make the effort to go and play the game. You canceled it yourself, so you are thereby forfeiting the game.
Yeah.
Because you could fly into Los Angeles.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't like the city was shut down. The city was still operating. People were still doing things. Now, sure, the Rams didn't play a playoff game there, but that was
fresh off of it, though. I mean, that was where.
Right.
And when were these games supposed to be? How
January
close?
12th and January 15th.
Never mind. Okay, that's like right in the heart of when everything went down.
Sure, you might be choking on a bunch of smoke and toxic fumes, but come on. Play the game,
says capitalistic Nick.
Well, they would have been. I mean, a couple of the reasons why they did it for the Rams. The main reason the Rams moved was because they did not want to require first responders to come staff their game.
Yeah.
They wanted,
and there's going to need to be more first responders for a football game than basketball.
And I think there was also a concern of, well, the air quality, because even though the stadium has a roof on it, it's still open
air. That's why a lightning strike delays a game there.
Exactly.
So stupid.
What a weird concept.
Which is why, being indoors and playing basketball indoors, I'd be curious to know. I'm assuming the men's teams played there during.
Why aren't there any outdoor NBA arenas?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Because the wind, Nick.
Do an outdoor stadium.
No. Speaking of a sports question, John, because I have a non-sports question that I think could be a lot of fun, but I'll save that for a little bit.
All
right. O-Trips asks us on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed, arguing with a Marquette fan on Twitter, if you had a team that was a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament consecutive years and lost in the round of 32 and Sweet 16, would you think that's underwhelming?
Yes.
I do too. I think that is very underwhelming, and especially for a school like Marquette, who is a basketball university and has made, well, they won the national championship, did they not, back in the 70s?
77.
But they made the Final Four when they had Dwayne Wade. They're a very proud program.
Yes.
For Marquette to make it to only the round of 32 and the Sweet 16 as 2 seeds, I would say that is very much disappointing. That'd be like being a fan of an NFL team and being the only 2 seed to lose to a 7 seed and still be triggered about it 13 months later. Can you imagine such a human being? The only 2 seed? Can you, Nick?
No, I can't.
But yeah, I'd be pissed.
Sounds miserable.
I can't imagine being a Marquette fan and being like, yeah, this is awesome.
I mean, and underwhelming, that's actually a nice way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Normally we would say, did they fail the season, or we would use different terms than just underwhelming. Yeah, absolutely. That would be underwhelming. It wouldn't be underwhelming from the standpoint of, hey, you were good enough in the regular season to get a 2 seed. So if you look at it from that picture, yeah, that's cool. But we all know, and this is not just a basketball thing, this is in every sport, you're eventually judged by what you do in the postseason. And when you have a tournament of 68 teams, and you get a 2 seed, which by the math tells you that you should get to the Elite 8.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. The chalk says that you should lose.
Chalk
to the 1
says
seed.
you should get to the Elite 8.
Yeah.
And in back-to-back years, you won 1 game and 2 games when you should have won 2, 4, 6 games. 6 games.
Yeah.
6 games. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair to say that's underwhelming.
Yeah. Could not agree
Absolutely.
more.
Don't have any takes.
All right. What was the non-sports?
All right. So I was thinking about it this weekend because we had our first batch of good weather of calendar year 2025. Truly good weather, right?
Tickled chains.
Nick tickled chains. We were all loving it. And I saw somebody say, like, man, that first warm day of the year is the best day of the year. So I was thinking, what feels better? A 40-degree day, let's say sunny, let's say the conditions are good, right? A 40-degree day after it's been around 0 or below 0, a.k.a. what we just have had, or the stink of the summer, like a week of 100-degree days, and when you get that first day where the high reaches 70 degrees. What do you enjoy more as a human being?
I like the first sunny 40-degree day more because the seasonal depression starts to melt away.
Yes, I think that's my answer as well. There's something about this is the beginning of the good arriving.
The last few days I've left work and it's been light outside, I have felt happier.
I know, me too, Nick. I'm so pumped for the time change.
Mentally,
I know John's not, but I'm pumped for the time change. I can't wait to leave work and the sun to be up. But and Dave Fight says
you can change the time all you want. Just keep it in one. Just keep it alone. Just leave it alone. Just change it and leave it alone.
Recency bias aside, the warm day hits more. It does, man. There is something, especially because what is it right now? It is 56 degrees. A week ago, it was like 60 degrees colder than that. And man, it's just so damn good right now. It feels amazing.
Yeah, but man, when it is oppressively hot and humid, and you finally get a day that feels like nice outside, and you're not hearing your air conditioner run for 24 hours a day, and you can actually earn your sweat. You can walk outside and not instantly break out into
your sweat. That's good. Earn this.
You can pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
That don't get sweaty.
Unless you earn it.
John, that's a good point, man.
It is a good point.
It really feels. Now, that's my natural inclination. I was having a conversation with my wife.
Oh, nice.
And this was Saturday, so it was like that's when the worm was starting to turn. We were starting to get, Saturday you could actually go out and do some stuff. I walked the dog on Saturday.
Yes, me too.
And she made the comment of, give me 100 degrees. I want 100 degrees. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Said, I will take 100 degrees over 0 degrees.
Oh, okay. Yes, I would agree with her on that take.
But she was like, why can't we just settle for some nice 70-degree days? That was my point. But
I think 0 degrees hurts more. I think 0 degrees hurts.
Well, it is harder to do things outside in 0 degrees.
It is. But for me personally, the hotter it gets outside, the less I hate being hot.
That's fair.
I do too.
But okay, so for example, you park in Lot D, right?
Yes.
Lot D, walking into the baseball stadium on a 100-degree day, which is the only time I ever really do it, right? Other than the Creighton games, but that walk is very short. Mm-hmm. I deal with a 100-degree day walk from parking lot to the stadium. I cannot imagine doing that walk when it's 0 degrees. It's just like it hurts your body. You're contracted, you're trying to stay anywhere warm. And you can't get cool when you're walking in 100-degree weather. It's really, really hot.
Do you know what the lesson is from this conversation?
You love your seasons?
That the extremes are never good.
Here we go.
Never settle for the extremes. Always stick that stiff arm out at extremism and say, go away, extremism. You're evil and rotten. Leave us alone, extremism. Let us live here at 50 degrees.
See, the weird thing is, though, sometimes temperature goalposts get moved. So if you're somewhere where it's suddenly 80 degrees all the time, suddenly if you say, I like it when it's 50 degrees, that makes you sound like an extremist. Even though 50 degrees used to not be bad.
Yeah, but we're not in that spot. And that's the beauty of living in Nebraska is we get to experience both extremes every year.
Including the last week. So what's everybody's answer? Is everybody the cold to the warm is better?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So we just we're like living in the best week of the year then because we just dealt with garbage and now it's good.
Such a good week.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't call it the best week of the year. I think it's just an either or of which one you like better.
It is nice.
To me, the best week of the year is when you just have really nice weather the whole week and it's coming up on Memorial Day weekend and the summer's about ready to start.
Hell yeah. And now I'm going to have a deck to grill on.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
And I've said this before, my absolute perfect day is like 70 to 80 degrees, but only if there's no humidity.
So a day that we never get?
We get one of those days usually.
So you enjoy
summer.
One day of summer?
Yes.
Wait, which one?
He said 70 degrees, no humidity.
Yes.
Well,
that's like kind of impossible.
It happens sometimes.
We get those in May. We get a lot of those in May. May
it's very rare, but it happens.
Isn't it wild? The 100-degree days, it's always it's like 70 degrees at 5 a.m. and you walk outside and you're like, this is gross. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, though, 70 degrees in May, you're like, hell yeah, baby, this is
honestly,
awesome.
The month that gives us probably the best weather is September.
Fall weather is the best. Because you're coming
it's not
after oppressive heat.
It's not even so much fall weather. It's just it's air conditioning weather.
It's quite cool.
It's like 75 and low humidity usually. Yeah. I would say September in general, because because the problem with like April or May is it's also, peak severe weather season. So you get thunderstorms and you get the damaging storms and things like that. You don't get those in September typically.
Yeah.
So September, as far as weather is concerned, is probably our best month.
Dealer writes, this is the oldest man convo in the history of the show. I love talking about weather.
I love the weather.
Okay, then it's time for something different.
I got one real quick from Ian. Going back to the news of the last hour of canceling games, will Matt Rhule pull the ultimate power move and set fire to Lincoln a few days before the Ohio State game, forcing Ohio State to pull out and forfeit? Plus, John, then he avoids a tough game as well.
Will he go full Caligula? Will he play the liar while Lincoln burns?
There you go. Let's watch out for it. Man, I had a different joke that I was just about to make. The over would have hit, and I'm not going to make it.
Okay, good.
Is mine a better joke?
No,
Josh,
I don't know.
Josh just mentioned his grill.
Yes. God, I'm so excited.
Charlie writes into the Equitable Bank inbox, what seasoning would you least like to have on your new griddle? You know how you season the griddle?
Sure, yeah.
What seasoning would you least like to have on your new griddle?
Okay.
Booger seasoning, butt seasoning or sex seasoning. Because as we know, Josh's display model grill, there may have been sex.
People might have had relations
in the store.
You bought the sex grill.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is butt seasoning, are we talking about the BH or is it just cheeks?
I assume it's the crack.
Well, it's the crack?
Well, it's the sweat.
The sweat.
Yeah, it's
all
like
three are too salty, says D-Lo.
Daniel asks, is it my sex or ...
No, in theory, this is other people who went to Mrs. B's and wanted to have relations for some reason because they were turned on by the beds, but went to the grill.
Yeah, but it was the display model, which was the only one they had left in the store.
I think I'll go with
the throes of passion.
I'll go with the butt sweat. I think I'll go with the butt, as long as it's not BH.
Butt over booger.
Boogers are, Nick. That is like actual stuff.
Yeah, so is butt stuff.
Sweat is fine. Boogers are like clumpy.
There's more than.
There's like things there.
Yeah, but like there's bacteria, and that's why it smells.
There's bacteria in boogers.
Yeah, but boogers don't really smell.
Sure, it's gonna cook off. Yeah, which cleans off easier? Asked Baymon. That's the question. What's your answer, John?
I'm probably going booger.
Yeah, I'm a booger
you guys
boy.
Are nasty. Eating other people's boogs.
Booger feels safer than sex or butt.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, definitely safer. I mean, you could get things from those other two.
Just wrap it up and you'll be fine.
Yeah, but they probably didn't.
That's true. By the way, smash burgers are what we're. That's going to be our maiden voyage on the grill. Yeah.
Excited,
dude. I'm pumped.
A little bit of onion on there.
No, I don't want no cooked onion.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like cooked onion. I like them raw, Nick. Raw onions.
And the seasoning of some overnight worker at NFM at 2 a.m. in the morning who decided to take a break by sitting down on Josh's grill.
John saying that reminds me of this dumb debate that actually triggers me.
Okay.
When you hear, do we need to say 2 a.m. in the morning?
No. You
say
say
2
2
a.m.
or 2 in the morning.
But
2 in the morning.
People say 2 a.m. in the morning.
Who says that?
John just said it.
John, did I just say that?
Yeah, John just said 2 a.m. in the morning.
That is redundant.
Well, I didn't mean to.
But he did. It's like ATM.
Well, I did, but I didn't mean to.
It was an accident, Nick. It's like
it was an accident.
Brett asks, "Hey guys, love the show. Thank you, Brett. You guys do a great job of keeping us entertained." Wow, thank you, Brett.
Wow.
Dumb debate.
Entertaining.
Would you rather fight a chicken every time you get in a car, or fight one orangutan with a sword randomly once a year? Once a year. Every time I get one of these questions, I go with the one that is lesser to happen.
You're not, unless you are fighting one hell of a gamecock
inside the car.
You're probably not going to get killed by a chicken.
But every time
an orangutan with a sword. First of all, the orangutan doesn't even need a sword to kill you.
That's an orangutan.
They are very strong.
That's an orangutan that's packing heat in two different ways.
No way.
Again, the orangutan does not need the sword to mess you up and end you.
You can
survive.
The
chicken can't. I will fight a chicken every time.
Every time you get in a car, John, think of how many times you get into a car. Every day. To go to work, to go home, to go to the grocery store, to go to the gas station.
So what you're saying is you will defeat the orangutan with a sword.
I will carry a sword now all the time. I will always have a sword with me. I'm going to work with a sword.
So
I don't believe that's the question.
I don't think you're going to die to fighting a chicken every time you get into a car.
But it'd be so annoying.
Every time you fight this sword monkey, you have the potential to die.
Once a year.
And again, he doesn't even need the sword. The orangutan could rip your
really that
arms.
Scary?
Yes.
But if it's holding a sword, he can't rip my arms off, John.
Until he puts the sword down.
Yeah, when he puts the sword down and just says, what do I need this for when I can tear his head off?
That's why we have the Second Amendment, boys. I'm packing heat now, and I'm going to shoot this damn orangutan.
Well, I could use the same philosophy with the chicken if I wanted to.
You're going to shoot up your car every time you get into your car?
Well, you open the door, the chicken runs out and attacks you. You shoot it there in the driveway.
Yeah, I'll deal with the orangutan once a year.
Well, then you're dead.
Josh
Peterson here for being dead.
Chicken option adds at least 10 more minutes to every trip. Man, that would, oh my gosh.
Just account for 10 extra minutes on your
Icon
commute.
says it.
You
Josh
can either account for 10 extra minutes a day or die. Which one would you choose?
How easy it is to kill a chicken? It's not that hard.
I don't think you guys realize how annoying it would be that every time you get in a car, there's a chicken.
I don't think you realize that orangutan would kill you.
I'll bring a gun. Again,
sword or no sword.
It's my Second Amendment right, John. They haven't taken away our guns yet.
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of the question. If you just,
Why?
I'm just going to bring a gun.
Shoot
I'm
it?
just going to bring a gun. I'm just going to bring a gun.
John, I mean, in fairness,
you know what I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to sell my car. I'm just going to get a new car every day.
No, then it respawns, kind of like that stupid thing that crawled around and followed me. Yes, exactly.
Snail.
Yes, exactly.
So you never know where the orangutan is going to show up either, though. That's
I'll always pack heat, Nick.
So you're in Target.
Yep.
And then suddenly,
what are the gun rules in Nebraska?
You cannot take unless you have concealed carry. And I don't think.
Sorry, dear,
places,
you're doing all our shopping from now on.
So basically, Josh, what you're saying is you're going to hole yourself up at home.
I mean, you're going to have to subscribe to some kind of service that gives you like MREs.
I'll bring up a gun. I'll bring a gun where I go.
Josh here from My Patriot Supply.
Patriot Josh said I wouldn't kill an orangutan with my gun.
At least with a chicken, you know what to expect, so you can mentally prepare. But then
you guys are idiots.
The paranoia of not knowing when sword monkey's coming for you.
Exactly. What if you're sleeping?
Okay, now that would be problematic. But Banks would wake me up. Banks would go ruff.
Or the orangutan may have already sadly taken out Mr. Banks on his way to you.
Jesus Christ, John! That's my dog you're speaking about.
But I'm not the orangutan.
Yeah, he seems like you want to be orangutan John.
I don't want to be the orangutan.
Trying to kill Banks.
What if you're in the bank and then the orangutan shows up in the bank? You can't have a gun in a bank.
Well, I mean, and then a lot of people are about to meet their maker. We're all going to find out if God is real together.
I think he's only coming for you. He's got bloodlust.
But I'll go hide behind somebody.
Josh, you're dead. You're dead where you stand.
Just take the chickens.
No.
That's the easy option. No. It's easy. You just pop off his head.
Imagine having to tell everybody every day, look at this dead chicken. And then you have to do it after work, too.
Imagine your poor widow. Imagine your poor widow having to explain to everybody at your funeral, which, by the way, will be a closed casket because your head's ripped off and your face is disfigured.
Yeah.
Having to explain to all the mourners, all 7 of them at your wedding or your funeral, hey, my husband's dead because he decided not to choose the daily chicken fight over this orangutan.
I have life insurance, though, so she'd at least get some of that.
But you don't have orangutan insurance, though. Baymon in the chat.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Your insurance company might say, yeah, but this policy's null and void because you decided not to choose the chicken fight over the orangutan.
Let's delete this on the pod just to be safe.
An orangutan with a sword is not an act of God. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess so.
Baymon in the chat says... No, it wasn't. Sorry, Jordan says you get free chicken every day. That's true. Plus, think of the price of eggs. You could basically just get an egg from this chicken that you kill every day.
D'Lo, but yeah, look what D'Lo says. Can I get a ride? Yeah, but there's one thing. Every time you get in your car with your lovely girlfriend, Nick, you're going to be like, I have to mess with this chicken now.
Don't worry, dear. I'll fix this chicken problem.
Your car is going to stink. It's going to smell like chicken.
Well, again, you don't have to kill it in the car. You just grab it by the neck, the goozle pipe, and you pull it out of the car, and then you twist its head off.
It respawns, though. Every time Nick gets out of the car, it respawns. So it's just baking in the car in the heat of the summer.
That's not part of the question.
That's how I imagine it.
But
no, that's not the question.
This also will encourage a healthy lifestyle. I don't feel like fighting the chicken today. I'll ride my bike to the grocery store.
Now that's an interesting point, Nick.
I'll walk to
Maybe
this place.
You're living a more sustainable earthly life.
Oh. Meanwhile, Josh and Mr. Second Amendment over here is toting his gun around waiting for the orangutan to
Come
show
here,
up.
you damn orangutan.
Hey.
Oh, and by the way, what happens if you miss?
Miss what?
Yeah.
You shoot at the yeah.
I'm taking lessons.
Yeah.
I will now.
So the orangutan shows up.
You're
going
to
to
have your head on a swivel 24/7.
Oh, my awareness on NCAA football would be 99, John. I'll be just fine with my
This isn't a video game. This is an orangutan. This isn't AI. This is real life. This is one badass orangutan.
Watch. You ready for this, John? I'm looking at the camera. Oh, I know there's a chair right here because I have a great awareness of my surroundings.
Do you know how strong orangutans are? They've got crazy monkey strength.
I don't. Oh, well.
Again,
do you know how stinky a chicken in your car all day is, Nick?
I've dealt with chickens. They're dumb and easy
Imagine,
to kill.
Nick, a College World Series game in the summer. It goes into 14 innings. So it's been a long night. John's cranky. Everyone wants to go home. And you're trudging out of the ballpark on a 100-degree night. And you remember, crap, I have to deal with a chicken now before I go home. I just want to get some rest. But you're tired and the chicken pecks you to death.
John,
Nick,
imagine this scenario.
Yeah.
you decide to take your lovely bride out for a nice evening on the town, and you decide to go to a nightclub. And because, you guys are millennials and you kind of dress weird anyway, you just kind of wearing your sweatpants, and you got your gun tucked inside of the elastic waistband of your sweatpants. And you walk into this nightclub and you say, oh, hey, it's Plaxico Burress. Let's say hi. And all of a sudden you shoot yourself in the leg because you didn't realize you had your gun in your waistband, because you always have to be on guard for the orangutan with a sword.
You're running in the Boston Marathon, and that's orangutan day.
Rats.
You would not be able to run marathons. They will not allow you to carry in the Boston Marathon.
You like to run. Are you just going to start running with heat the whole time?
No, that is a problem. I didn't think about this part.
Josh, you know what, Josh? If this is your way you want to be famous, imagine you would be number 1 in Sports Center's not top 10. You're running along the Boston Marathon. All of a sudden, an orangutan with a sword comes out and takes you out.
I don't think they would they'd have to blur it out a lot, but they would definitely talk about me on ESPN. Rats. That's the best argument you guys have made so far. It would change how I work out.
Take the chickens.
Can't run on a treadmill with a gun.
Just take the chickens.
I think I'll deal with the orangutan.
Oh, all right.
That's dumb debate.
I did not expect that one to go where it went.
Yeah, El Scorcho says what Nick said earlier. Couldn't you just capture the chickens and get a bunch of free eggs?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you have to raise a chicken.
Eggs are going to be the new gold when everything collapses.
That's true.
Man, Nick and we're going to be making money on our free eggs and our free chickens. Josh is going to be walking around paranoid with a gun in his elastic waistband waiting for the orangutan to show up.
You're going to be trying to buy one of our eggs, and then suddenly the orangutan's going to show up.
R.I.P. me, I guess.
Said, I wish I would have taken the chicken.